When we think of a cow's productive lifespan, we're really talking about the number of years that the cow is contributing to the overall milk production of the herd. Increasing the productive lifespan of dairy cows is important to improve the sustainability of the dairy industry by increasing farm profitability, reducing the environmental footprint of milk production, and improving animal welfare. So, how do you know which cows to keep in the herd? Making strategic decisions can be challenging and should be primarily based on production and profitability. Profitability refers to the net revenue generated by a cow, which can be determined by subtracting the cost of feed, housing, and disease events from the total value of milk that she produces. The most profitable cows in the herd are typically those who have fewer diseases and improved reproduction. These cows also tend to have a lower chance of getting culled earlier in their productive life. So what does this mean for you and your farm? To better understand cow-level profitability, researchers at McGill University took a closer look using cost-benefit analysis. In Quebec, 114 dairy herds participated in a study to investigate the costs and revenues related to a cow's productive lifespan. Pre-recorded data were collected on cows that had completed 1 to 4 lactations within each herd between 2000 and 2013. Cows were categorized into 2 groups, stay or left. Stay cows were kept in the herd at the end of their lactation, whereas left cows were those that were culled or left the herd at the end of their last completed lactation. Different factors contributing to cost, such as feed, breeding costs, disease, and production, were evaluated over the course of each cow's individual lactation, as well as over their entire lifetime within the herd. The revenue was determined by the total volume of milk produced and the corresponding value of that milk. The difference between the revenue and cost was used to determine the profitability of each cow. When looking at individual lactations, the cows that ended up staying in the herd had a lower cost and a higher profit during that lactation compared to the cows that left the herd. Interestingly, when looking at their entire lifetime, cows that were retained in the herd were not necessarily more profitable than cows that left the herd. The economic analysis showed that differences in lifetime revenues between the left and stay cow groups were variable and not always different. In general, farmers tended to make culling decisions based on the costs and revenues of their cow's current lactation, rather than looking at any costly events that happened in previous lactations. For some herds, culling decisions were more oriented towards cost, while for others, the decision to cull was based on production. Farmers that retained cows in their herds based on cost were more likely to consistently cull cows that were less profitable, whereas farmers that were more production-oriented tended to retain cows that were not necessarily more profitable than those that left. So what does this mean? When making culling decisions based on profitability, it is important to consider the cumulative cost and revenue of each animal across her lifetime to get the most accurate picture of her productivity. Monitoring cumulative costs and revenues can provide you with lifetime profitability data to help you make decisions about which cows to retain in your herd earlier on and optimize the decision-making process. By optimizing herd longevity decisions and keeping the most profitable animals in the herd, the productive lifespan of dairy cattle can be increased over time, contributing to a sustainable dairy industry and improved health and welfare of dairy cattle.